Oakley Dokley's. Okay, are you ready?
Yep, let's go.
You don't look ready. That's how you're gonna say that.
Should I not?
You know what? I'm not gonna complain. I'm happy. I didn't actually think that
you
this
think you're
was
still fucking my lead.
I didn't actually think that this would happen, because you've been wanting to do this fucking show for how long already?
So you've
Since last year already.
you've been wanting to do it since last time.
That was a different show lah.
That was
you've been wanting to do this show. You've been wanting to do this specific show for ages, and you set a date. We put it into the calendar, and then the first
so only
person to
FFK one
was
time,
you
but
lah.
I remember that a few years ago, your angle was that you want to explain things to me.
No,
what can you explain to me that I don't know?
to me.
No, you explained to me because you said I got pop culture gap.
That was only one of the episodes. Okay, it doesn't matter because it's finally here. I can't believe it. So what we calling this show is Casting Couch Conversations.
Yes,
it's
Casting
the
Couch
working
Conversations.
Title.
Yes.
I have to say I don't know how I feel about that because that means we need to have a couch every day.
So I had this conversation with some colleagues today, right? And I spoke to some of them who are a little bit younger. I said, "Have you guys heard of Casting Couch?" Because I want them to know. I want them to know what it means, but I don't want them to instantly think like we're perverts. I want there to be some sort of like balance in between. They never heard of it. I asked another colleague of mine, a little bit older, around our age, and she also said she has never heard of it. So it begs the question: are we perverts, or is it just Casting Couch not as big as it was?
I just think that you are the most creepy person in the world to ask random
I didn't ask in the office, right? No, I didn't ask.
Exactly.
I didn't ask
exactly. Hey, have you heard of Casting Couch?
I didn't ask it
when I say Casting Couch Conversations, what do you imagine?
No, I didn't say that. I said, have you guys heard of Casting Couch? I said, oh no, pretend only lah, these people.
Yeah lah, you think they're gonna tell you, man?
But
Who are you?
In all honesty,
I
I cannot remember any Casting Couch videos. Can you? Oh, I guess our first topic of the day is porn. Ayo, we need Zach here.
This is the origin story of the... It's been 2 minutes and 40 seconds and you already brought in Zach. Like, who is Zach? The people don't know who Zach is.
What was Casting Couch actually? So I know it's the black leather couch, right? That's the one I see on the memes all the time. And then it became... is it like they take advantage of girls who come and think that they are casting like a legit show?
I think so.
Is that what's happening?
I actually... One look at this, right? You know that it's not a legit show anymore already. But because a legit show would have actual lighting.
I mean, I think overall
it would have
better than expected. Story is, I just came in today with just one microphone, two handphones, two smartphones.
How old are you, man?
One laptop, and an interface. He didn't provide anything. What do you provide?
Where are we sitting in now?
Microphone.
Where are we sitting in now? Exactly.
Whatever.
With this beautiful Puchong view over here.
That's all I came prepared.
You can't see the Puchong view.
I don't know if you can see, but it's... you don't need to know lah, but it's not very professional.
Don't break the magic
I think it's quite nice. I'm very, very satisfied how things turn out.
Don't break the magic of show business.
I think the audio sounds amazing anyway, thanks to me. I'm using... So I actually used to do
You know what sounds actually amazing?
What? Me?
The new Axia.
I don't think that works.
No, actually it doesn't.
It doesn't work. It doesn't sound great. The segue doesn't work, but...
what segue? We're talking about Axia.
You are trying to segue into the Axia.
Yeah, because you're going on about things that people don't care about.
So another story is that Rory and I used to work together a couple of years ago. And Rory is my lead at the time.
More origin story again.
So we always wanted to do something more chill and something like just for the fucks of it lah, to be honest. But he asked me to do that when at the same time he's giving me way too much work. So I was like, oh no lah, for me, I got a lot of things on my plate. Actually, I just didn't want to work more.
Yeah lah, this guy had nothing on his plate actually. He think I don't know what's on his plate.
Fast forward, I had too much. Weekend, don't even. So fast forward a couple of years and we're just chilling and hanging out, and then we're like, I really like podcasts nowadays, to be honest. All kinds of podcasts. I watch it to sleep. I mean, I listen to it to sleep. I listen to it on drives. I listen to it while I play Dota. I listen to it not while I work, but I listen to it while doing almost everything else. So then we were thinking of a name. We really couldn't think of anything else other than Casting Couch. Because he said he only has a couch. So we
actually we were both supposed to be on the couch.
Yeah, but it's a bit... Oh, sorry, no, that's off limits. But So actually, we were just having a very, very heated discussion about the new Peridot Axia the other day.
Wow, that segue was so much better. So much. It wasn't, by the way.
Okay, new Peridot Axia has just been released, right? I think I cannot remember the specs. You know, I'm not that guy in this show. Sorry.
I know it's bigger.
It's not actually bigger.
No, the most important thing is it's more expensive.
Yes, 48,000 ringgit.
Yes.
So I think that's the same.
Bigger and wheelbase longer is the same lah. It's also bigger, right?
Wheelbase is longer, but
Slightly.
the seating space not bigger. Apparently very similar to the Oax.
But you get bigger boot. So that means the person sitting in the boot has more seating space.
Anyways. You need a big boot, you buy another car lah.
What do you mean? Buy another car?
No, you don't buy an Axia for a big boot. That's my point. I think it's
But
just
you can.
They just want to say like, oh, this has a huge boot. It's just like a spec shout. Nobody's going to actually remember this.
It's 5 liters, dude.
Is it
That's
5 liters more?
Yeah.
You don't remember anything else about the Axia other than the fact it's 5 liters bigger.
And it has a
You actually got
1
read
liter
or not?
engine.
You just walk in here and expect me to remember all these things to tell you.
Of course I got read lah. You know me? You don't even know, right? You don't even know enough to correct
Actually,
me.
to be honest, I don't know anything about it other than 48,000 top spec. Longer wheelbase.
Is it 48,000?
Top spec.
Not 49,000, man?
I think it's 48.
48,
without insurance or something like that lah.
You got the laptop in front of you, right?
Man, it's damn far lah. Maybe you should. Where's my phone ah? Hey, can you help me take my
Your
phone?
phone is being... is.
No, my iPhone. Wait ah.
Where is it? I legit cannot see it from here.
Hello. Hi Siri.
Oh, okay. I legit could not see it from here. I was like, that's a notebook.
Okay. New Axia. Oh, this iPhone's on no battery.
Basically, the,
Wait.
the gist...
My mic is falling over. The gist?
Basically, the gist of it is it's way more expensive than the old Axia. It's bigger than the old Axia. It is 120 kg heavier than the old Axia.
Dude, you're trying to fucking flex that you
But
actually read out on this. Not bad.
But then, it still has a 1 liter engine. And worst of all, it has a CVT gearbox now.
It's not worst of all though.
It
CVT
is worst
gearbox.
of all.
It's not. It's you're not.
Every CVT gearbox is shit.
That's just a blanket statement. That doesn't work on anything.
okay.
There is no blanket statement.
I've never driven a CVT gearbox that felt good to drive.
What is feeling good to drive? Like you mean in terms of like
it feels responsive. It feels.
I think my CVT gearbox feels pretty responsive.
And then every car that has a CVT gearbox has the most annoying drone. When you put your foot down, right?
But if you drive it differently, though, no. If you know how to
Dude,
drive,
it's
if you drive
awful.
it, is it the recording? It is. If you drive it differently, then it's like learning how to drive a different type of car. You know what I mean?
What?
It's like you drive it differently. You don't pedal to the metal. Like what are you? 10 years
It's
old?
learning
Pedal
how
to the
to
metal.
drive a worse type of car.
No, it's
You
more
know what's a
efficient.
good CVT experience?
What?
EV.
Is
That
EV?
is an EV is the thing that okay. So the idea of the CVT gearbox is supposed to be like
Stepless, yeah.
It's supposed to be the perfect kind of gearbox, right? Because in theory you're supposed to be in the power band all of the time, no matter the speed, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And EVs are the only vehicle that have sort of captured that essence, because every other CVT gearbox, right? Yeah, you're in the power band, but the power band is no power.
But I mean, it depends where you're looking at this from, right? If you talk about CVT, it's like a very, very broad description, right? Like there are CVTs from like the worst of the worst is probably punch CVTs on the Protons, which are now becoming obsolete. Fucking finally, like thank God. I mean, I remember when I was buying a car, like what was it, 7-8 years ago, right? I wanted to buy a Proton because I didn't want a MyV, but I had no choice because Proton sucked because CVT. I didn't want a manual gearbox because I had been driving a manual car for like 8 years. So punch CVT is like horrible. That one is objectively horrible. Even Proton knows it. Every release that they do, they say, oh, we have improved the CVT gearbox. Now it's not so bad. You know what I mean? Do you remember this?
No.
Oh, now it's not so bad. Don't worry. Persona is better. Iris is better. Oh, new facelift models out. This one is not so bad. We have changed the engine mounting. How can an engine mounting change how shit the gearbox is? Fine. Okay, that's one side of the spectrum. On the other side of the spectrum, I wouldn't say like.
What's a good CVT gearbox?
I think I've driven the new Honda City has a decent CVT gearbox. So it's not going to give you a spirited feeling drive, but it doesn't have that rubber band effect. Why did my laptop? Still recording. All good. My microphone is falling over. We're already encountering some issues. Hello? Okay, so I think the Honda City has a decent gearbox, right? I think my car has a decent gearbox, the Toyota Cross.
I've driven your car.
You've driven the
Not
hybrid
your
version.
car, but the hybrid. It's the same gearbox, right?
Yeah. I think it's slightly different, but more or less same bones.
And it still feels like.
But does it feel like you have
like
a
ass.
delay when you not pedal to the metal, but when you accelerate normally, like you need to accelerate from a stop or you need to overtake somebody? So don't put yourself as somebody that is like
No,
reviewing,
so okay, in start-stop traffic, it's fine.
Yeah.
But is that not because of the electric motor?
I don't know because mine doesn't have electric motor. No lah, but I feel when I need to give it a bit of gas, right, or petrol, but if I need to give it a bit of gas and I overtake somebody in the past, I think I drove, I don't know if you remember that, the Lancer lah, the Lancer 10, the Evo X Lancer, the non-Evo. The one that all the cops are using now, the Inspira.
I was gonna say Inspira.
So that one
Dude,
also...
that sucks also lah.
It agreed. So that's what I meant. Like,
that's
it
what
was
you
a
meant.
powerful engine, right? 2-liter engine, decently powerful.
Yeah, but
when you need to overtake someone, you literally feel like... And then you start to go forward.
Or if you're going like up a hill also, right? It feels like garbage.
It's not optimal at all. It doesn't find the right
Yeah.
step in the stepless, right? But with the newer cars, it's not going to be as spirited as like a standard automatic transmission or a dual clutch.
What is a spirited car to you? Like in terms of like driving experience, what has been the
you
best
mean like
car?
in my life?
Yeah. Like that
Honestly,
you can remember. What's your benchmark? I want to know.
I don't know if it's a benchmark, but the most fun, the most connected I had to a car was like Satya GTI.
Satya GTI.
Yeah, but that's very hard to compare because it's a manual car. That's really I mean, I'm not like super into like motorsports or whatever, but that felt like really like track. Also, my friend who had it really hardened the whole shit and my ass was hurting and all, but I felt the bones of the car through my ass. I tell you, that's not the only time, but
it was a manual gearbox,
but
also known as stick shift.
Yeah, it was a manual gearbox, racing clutch. But that's like really maybe a difference. I don't even think it's like
No, like
same
you're
kind of
driving
thing.
on a circuit, right?
No. Right on roads.
on
LDP.
road lah. Okay.
Like, those were much younger. Like we were like really having a lot of fun and things like that. Also felt really quantum my Wira. But if you talk about modern day automatic car, my wife used to have a Honda City Hybrid.
I thought you
Right?
were gonna say your wife.
No,
I thought the whole thing was building
crazy
up to
man.
your
No,
wife
I
joke.
think that's so ballsy. No, I think she had a Honda City Hybrid. I didn't expect it to feel spirited.
Honda City Hybrid.
So the previous gen one, not the current. The current one rides on the CVT. The previous one had a DCT, right? Basically a dual clutch, but it was a dry one. So basically we had to sell it after 3.5 years because the gearbox gearbox fucked up lah, basically, and 20,000 ringgit, but on the warranty sold the car off, switched cars. But that car felt very spirited.
Okay.
In gearbox wise. Then if I talk about like, yes, that compared to what I'm driving now, yeah, for sure, I don't feel, and it tries to simulate like a standard automatic gearbox. Like, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the CVTs, the Toyota CVTs now,
especially if you have like the ones with pedal shifter, right?
my car doesn't have pedal shifters. I have
but it still tries to simulate the.
It still tries to simulate. It's quite weird. Like when
then there's like changing.
not all the time. Only when you're giving it full. Like
You're talking about your Corolla Cross now.
yes, only when you are accelerating like in a linear way. Like you keep accelerating.
Yeah. See, when I was driving the hybrid, there was no gear
It would
change.
if you like. It's one of those things that some people don't notice. I don't know about hybrid for sure, but I didn't know about this on Cross until somebody told me about it.
Do you have like a rev?
yes,
like a
so can tell,
tachometer?
but it does not feel like a real thing.
That's the thing. The
I'd
hybrid
rather
doesn't
it
have
not
one.
do it.
The hybrid doesn't have one.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like a dial. So it goes power, eco, and like something else.
Oh, that sucks though.
Yeah, so there's no like.
That's very detached
there's
feeling
no
lah.
change. Yeah, it's just it feels like a CVT lah.
So I guess we're talking about CVTs lah today. But I guess I'm not here. If you ask me objectively, if I could swap it, not counting reliability, and I don't really care about fuel consumption, frankly speaking, unless it's terrible or it's fantastic.
E20 mindset.
No lah. But I don't drive enough for it to matter so much. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So for me lah, like objectively, I still think, of course, like I don't know about like my V480 kind of like transmission, but if you talk about like
What's wrong with my V480?
no, I mean, let's not compare that to like the CVT I'm driving. If I compare it to like maybe I think my dad has an X70, right? Yeah, it feels so much better.
Wait, the X70 is?
It's also a dual clutch.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's also very nice. Also has a similar problem, reversing is slipping and stuff like that, but you get used to it and people say it can be unreliable. I don't know about that lah. But it's definitely a nicer drive. But to me, I understand why a lot of the mass market cars are going to CVTs. They are more fuel efficient in general. They are supposed to be more reliable. Or maybe it's because all Honda and Toyota are using CVTs now. I don't know. And I think that they have gotten it to a level where the average driver, not a driver's driver, but an average driver, doesn't really feel the difference.
So you think the CVT on the Axia is a good thing?
Yes, I think so. A lot of people have been saying, so we haven't, like, just full disclosure, right? Neither of us have actually driven this car, so much hard thoughts about it, but we will.
I think it's going to be garbage.
We plan to.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, we will plan to test drive this car maybe soon. If we can get in lah. I don't know how in demand it is, but we're definitely going to try. So it's like, I think it's a good thing because if you're looking at that type of car, so if you told me like the Golf R line, right, and then the Golf GTI has its own DCT, whatever, right? And then R line is what, 8-speed
R line is 8-speed.
8-speed now is a Japanese gearbox, right? Yeah,
what's
the name
like,
of that?
I can't remember, but it's
Japanese.
It's not. You don't have the dual clutch anymore.
So it's like if
people say is people like it,
but some people are
that's
like,
reliable.
I cannot. Like some people are still like grumbling.
That's what I thought. Like I went in a hater. You know, I wanted to hate the car because when I went in. To try it, I was like, oh man, because before this, you know, I loved their DSG gearboxes, right? I drove the Arteon, loved it. Tiguan, loved it. Polo, loved it.
Not the
Volkswagen,
not the Malaysian Polo.
No.
Right?
So the one, not the one that looks like the Saga. You know the one that looks like the Saga. That's horrible. That's the worst Polo. And then so when I got into that one, I was like, I wanted to hate it because I had just come from a BMW 218i at that point. And BMW 218i,
so many expensive cars.
Of course lah. You know what they say lah. Jet set life. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
So I got from the BMW, which has a dual clutch transmission, into the Golf, and I like the Golf's one more. It felt like when you put your foot down, you get the power that you want when you want it. Like slow moving traffic.
Compared to the R-Line.
No. Compared to the BMW.
The GTI.
Compared to the BMW.
I mean the 218.
The 218 was worse.
It's also. So I like what gearbox does 218 use?
Dual clutch.
Okay.
I don't know if it's wet or dry though.
Okay.
But it was some kind of dual clutch.
Wet is always better, you know.
More fluids for the. Okay.
Of course.
But the point is, I ended up liking it more, and it was like more responsive. It gave me power like out of the corner, you know, which the BMW was just so sluggish.
But they're both dual clutches.
No. So the R9 is not a dual clutch.
Oh, R9. I keep thinking GTI. Okay.
No, I never got to test the GTI.
Dude, they shouldn't call it the R-Line.
Why?
It's fucking with me. Like, just call it the TSI.
No. Actually, if you call it
GTI and R-Line.
If they wanted to call it R-Line, it's still fine. The problem is the back, right? They just put Golf, you know. It's like so ugly. And then the seats, they put the R logo. Whereas if you have the Golf R, also that's the R logo. It's just R behind.
Hey, Golf R and Golf GTI is just difference is tuning and all-wheel drive, right? That's the only thing, right?
No, it's a more powerful engine.
I thought it's just tuning. It's actually a different powertrain.
I think I cannot remember. I think maybe the turbo is because something, but it makes like significantly
maybe
more power.
Maybe whoever's editing this video can put in the information at this point lah.
And it's just the person editing this video is not going to put in the information at this point.
Audio, you put in this information.
We would just let the comments correct us.
This isn't for work.
So the R.
Yeah.
The main thing is obviously the drivetrain lah. You know, it's 4-wheel drive, but it's also the kind of 4-wheel drive that's not 100% 4-wheel drive all the time. You know.
Is it?
No. It's their what's that thing called?
What is it, like torque vectoring kind of thing? Is it?
No lah.
No, that's Mazda. I know, but it's similar. What?
What is it called? Yeah.
Sounds like you just
4Motion.
Wow, not bad. All this information.
It's the 4Motion because which is like the Arteon lah, basically. So it's not like most driving, it's going to be front wheel drive until you like need the rear wheels to come in.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I've never driven R.
It's like
not R-Line. I've never driven R. but okay, I guess back to the whole CVT. So the way I see it lah, because I've not always been a fan of CVTs. In fact, I hated it for a long time, right? But the way I see CVTs
just because you bought one, right?
No. I mean, I bought one because I changed my mindset towards it. Of course, I wouldn't buy it without thinking it, without believing in it. But I think it's more like you went into the R line, right? Test driving it and reviewing it or whatever, and then you kind of had a change of mindset after you drove it. You know what I'm trying to say? At first, you're like, oh, this one doesn't have a DSG anymore, right? This is not part of the Golf DNA. I'm not happy about it, right? What's the point of buying a Golf? Maybe not so. Okay, I'm just putting words in your mouth, but let's say, right? But like, so I had the same feeling of saying like, I don't need this to be a CVT. Just put in a 6-speed. Don't put in 4-speed. 4-speed I rather have CVT.
No lah, obviously.
But put in a 6-speed, 7-speed, whatever lah. Standard automatic transmission, right? But after I drove a couple of CVTs, I didn't love CVTs, but I felt that it's an okay compromise for the fuel consumption. And I think that maybe for a lot of other people like my wife who drives the car as well, or let's say people who are not really so concerned about it, a lot of people don't even know what CVTs are, do you know that, right? Like a lot of people get into a car and they're like, wow, got power. Like, so, but people who don't care about it, getting into a punch CVT gearbox or a Lancer back then or an Inspira, they're like, wow, this car like very lousy. You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say, right? Like, so agree to disagree because I know that we're don't even have enough to talk about, man.
We're going to cut to me driving Nick's car now.
We're not going to cut to that.
We're going to cut to that. It's going to be like, right?
No, it's not.
That's the cut.
No, but anyways, the point I'm trying to make is like I think it's not as good of a gearbox in terms of drive feel. Yeah, I'm crossing my legs. Fuck it lah. But
what's wrong with crossing your legs?
You say don't cross my legs at first. You can say like that. So anyways, so I think that
there's nothing to do with you crossing your legs.
So all the way back to our original point, which is it good that the Axia has a CVT?
You're crossing legs because Corolla cross, ma.
So does it?
That's it.
Is the Axia driving? Is the Axia on the CVT a good thing? I think it is versus the 4AT. Because
of fuel efficiency.
Fuel consumption, and we will test drive after this to, I guess, eventually.
Cut to us. No, it's not.
At some point, we will test drive it, and at some point,
I'm just going to upload this,
we will share this. Yeah.
I'm not even going to sing the audio.
But enough of that, lah, man. We've left this life. But I think we have to test drive it to know for sure, but people say it feels more powerful because it's on a CVT versus the Axia 480. Was it 480? 480, yeah.
But the thing is, it's also gaining a lot of weight.
CVT gearbox heavier?
No. I mean, the car itself is gaining a lot of weight, but it's still 1 liter engine, you know?
Okay, so I kind of agree with you that I'm not happy that it's on a 1 liter.
It's 120 kg. That's 2 of you. Almost.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
Less.
2 of Zach.
Not even lah. Zach cannot even reach.
No, actually not enough, right?
That fucker is only 55 kg to like a girl.
It's 2 and
a girl who's actually still quite light. Yeah.
It's 2 and a 110 Zach.
I guess the question is like, you know, did you hear rumors that the Axia is going to come out with a 1 liter turbo? Like the Ativa?
Yeah.
Would have been the sweet spot lah.
That would have been pretty cool.
That would have been sweet spot. I think it's still okay with the CVT.
Or they could have given it like an electric motor. That would have been cool.
They could have, but I understand why they didn't.
Yeah,
like
it's
at
a
that
cost
price
thing,
point
right?
and at that segment of the market. Yeah, so
I do think it looks nicer though.
I think so too. I think it looks like a Kanchil in a good way. Like it feels like a
Kanchil? Which generation Kanchil?
The Kanchil lah.
The original Kanchil?
The original Kanchil, the one we learned how to drive in. The backlights, not the front. But the backlights, I feel because they've now made it like if you think about it, like it's too.
It's too what?
It's too like red. It's too like it's more narrower.
Okay. You gotta stop doing that.
It's too narrower. It's too like narrow lights instead of the very Japanese kind of like lights that people nowadays always have like more.
You know, the Kanchil's lights were the very quintessential Japanese
back then lah, like K-car style. Yeah. But so I also think that okay lah, we should move on to our next subject soon because I want to talk about something else as well. But one final thought I had lah. So we agree to disagree on one. We also agree to disagree on. We agree 1 liter too small. Finally, first time in 4-5 years.
I don't even know what you're talking about now at this point.
What did I want to say?
You're talking about the rear lights.
I just think I think that they should have called it the Kanchil. I think they should have. I think that they should.
It looks too much like an Axia to be called the Kanchil.
They should have never gotten rid of the name Kanchil. Just like I think the persona should be called the Wira.
No, because so when you went from Kanchil to Viva. That was like a bastardization of the car, man. Come on. The Viva was so awful. Yeah, like, I want the Kanchil to die as the Kanchil, you know? Like, it would have ruined the name.
Yeah. Okay, and fine.
The new Axia also is like, it's not as... Can you calm down? The new... I think it's all that coffee that you just drank.
Yeah.
The new Axia is also like, I don't know, not really like a Kanchil. Like, dude, the Kanchil is iconic, you know what I mean?
I just feel like it's a shame that they have like killed that. Like, you know, think of like Honda Civic.
The name.
Like, yeah, it has changed so much and it's even surfacing in different end of the market. Civics, right? But it has come so far, and it's just really nice to have that kind of legacy when you buy a car.
I guess so.
Even like, okay, you talk about
But
my
it's
car.
like the ship of Theseus, right? If you replace everything, is it still the same car? You know what I mean?
Oh,
That fucking dropping culture on you, you know.
Porn, okay, fine, but
It's called range, okay?
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
Mariah
yeah.
Carey? Yeah.
So I guess
I'm the Mariah Carey
I
of
guess
talk
one question
shows.
I have for you to round this Axia that has gotten us nowhere, to no consensus.
What do you mean?
We should
It was-
test drive it We have to test drive
Yes,
it
yes,
I think
yes.
that's for sure.
There's
But
only one way to find out.
would you pay 48,000 for a Proto Axia?
It has a lot of tech though.
You mean
Like,
like
doesn't it-
autonomous braking and things like that?
like safety features and all that, which was never present in the Axia. The Axia's autonomous braking was depending on how fast you can press the brake.
I don't think that
Which is
it's
very not
necessary
autonomous at
for
all.
me.
Have you seen the way people drive
Okay,
nowadays?
so hear me out.
They're like that, you know. This is their phone.
No, I'm not
This is
saying
their
that
phone.
autonomous driving is a pointless thing. It actually saved me once because I was using my phone while
I
driving.
know.
I was like, whoa!
I'm
was
a
like-
motorcyclist. I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
all of you guys on your phone.
So it's like I would say, still recording? Yes. I would say that like the way I look at it is like, if you wanted to put in that tech, which inevitably will push up the price, you should be putting in that tech, let's say, into another generation of the MyV or MC2, MC3, whatever they want to call it. But because I feel that if you're pushing up the price and saying we have to push up the price because we're including these features, this whatever tech, then you are removing the accessibility of the Axia. The Axia was never a feature pack car. It was not even a bang for buck car. It is just the cheapest, most accessible car
But
you
the
can
base
have.
car is still cheap, right?
They have taken away the E-Spec, which is the manual one. I think in the future they plan to release last generation's E-Spec,
Again lah.
like to resume manufacturing or whatever and sell that, which is, we'll talk about that one day when it's actually out, right? But it's like the... release in 6 months' time. No, but I think the lowest one, right? Wow, this one I'm damn lazy Google. I know I said I'll Google what we talk, but I can't do this. But it's like the lowest one now, basically they've removed the E-Spec. So it starts at about 5,000-6,000 more than it used to already.
So, okay.
5,000-6,000 out of like 30,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I feel like...
But would you, okay, so with all the autonomous features, right, in the top spec one, right, it's still more affordable than a MyV with equivalent
Yeah, my V doesn't
safety
ever have
features, right?
the same
Correct.
level,
So
yeah.
in a sense, yes, you are bringing the prices up, but you're bringing the tech down as well. You know
But then
what
we
I mean?
will never have... I mean, this also means that we will never have that basement price again.
That's just how technology works, dude. How much are you paying for your phone now?
So I think that I can get a cheaper phone nowadays than when I was younger for certain things I need to do. Like back then, wow, we are going to another topic.
I don't think so.
I think like I can get a phone that can play all the latest games.
No, I see your point, but I feel like it's sort of like the kind of situation where you have to pick and choose what you want, right? Do you want to move forward? Which probably means price. And I think the price going up is also not just the tech. Like the fucking economy is kind of shit right now.
True lah, true.
Parts are expensive.
That's also true.
You know what
That
I mean?
one is true.
It's probably external factors.
Malaysian
They're
ringgit
probably
sucks and
also
stuff like that.
hedging a little
Yeah,
bit for the coming year. You know, so I'm not surprised that the price is going up, but you are getting a lot. Like that tech is a lot more accessible, which I think is it's something that is a trade-off
Okay
that I
lah,
think people will be
okay
willing to
lah,
make.
but
Yeah.
One final caveat to that is that we are saying this from the perspective of maybe people that can have that flexibility to think about it. Like I'm just trying to think of like the target market for an Axia, which can be anybody
Which
who just
is-
wants a cheaper car,
Yeah,
to some
or
people who just
broke college
simply
students.
cannot afford. Yeah,
See people who cannot afford cars.
yeah,
Yeah.
people who cannot afford
You know
cars.
what will
is like,
solve all of this?
what?
For people who cannot afford cars?
Take
Better
good
public transport.
system. No lah.
Cut to...
I don't talk about it because I don't really take public transport, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I know,
with
you're
Yeah.
T20. All that Kelana Jaya money.
So I guess something else I also wanted to talk about was the Axia for all that money, right, doesn't come with Apple CarPlay. Right? And you don't have Apple so Rory, for some context, Rory rides are very expensive. But what is it? I don't know anything about bikes. $40,000 Triumph bike, right? Yeng lah, to be honest, Yeng. But I don't know anything about it, and
I don't need Apple CarPlay on the bike.
yeah,
dude.
yeah, he doesn't. He just puts his phone. But like at the same time, he still has like a MyV as well that he uses if ever he needs a roof over his head and he needs to pick up girlfriend, I guess. So
And Nick.
no lah, dude, he doesn't pick me up lah. I drive to his house, then we go out together. But
Semantics.
But
Wait, is
it's
that-
like so. So my wife and I have two cars, right? We mostly drive only one car. Second car's a MyV.
Each.
No lah, so high. But we have a MyV as well, right? It's about 7 years old, 6 years old. So it doesn't have Apple CarPlay. I have CarPlay in the other car. So I started using it, I've started to see the real value in it. right? It's not just like, oh, I can use Waze, because you can use Waze on your phone. But the idea is like every time you can have Waze on your mount lah. You know what I mean? It's not like there's no way to have Waze.
Yeah.
But having Apple CarPlay means that my phone, I get into my car as a standard practice. I just plug it in because my car still uses wired CarPlay. But if it's wireless, it automatically connects. Same principle, even better. What happens is that...
Where are you going with this?
I'm trying to say that like it becomes like routine. You don't just turn on Waze when you don't know how to get there. Or you don't just...
I don't turn on Waze full stop.
Oh, very man lah.
I'm a Google Maps user.
Okay, whatever lah. Navigation, right? Apple Maps, whatever. But it's like I only used to use Waze, Google Maps when I need to find something that I've never been before. So I'll be like, I tell my wife, I know the way. Then take wrong turns all the way there because trying to take shortcut. But never mind. So I'm that kind of guy. But ever since I've gotten CarPlay, I've always left in my phone. I've always had Waze up, and it helped me to avoid police roadblock. It has helped me to get past jams.
Which the police is not happy about.
Yeah, they have some. Apparently, the US. Okay, anyways, so I feel that like CarPlay has become a must-have in cars, or Android Auto as well, for a lot of people, and that's why people are always asking this in reviews nowadays. But if you want to do it aftermarket, it's like 1,000 plus. Would you do it on your Myvi?
No. Why would I want to do it? No. So what I do is, I used to have a phone holder that I just stuck my phone on, but then the phone holder broke, and then I can't be asked to buy another one. So I just put it on my dashboard now.
Yeah, but you are missing out all the benefits that I just mentioned lah.
Like what? I wasn't listening actually.
Like always having. I'm not gonna repeat this.
No, I mean always have. You can have Google Maps on. Like I have.
You're
Google
not
Maps
going
on
to.
too. Yeah, I wouldn't. No, even when I had cars with CarPlay, I wouldn't leave Google Maps on because it's draining my battery. It's using my phone's GPS.
Turns on. You cannot not have it on.
You can, if you switch to a different app, it turns off GPS. It stops draining your battery. So like, I have Spotify on full screen. I don't have it on the home screen. It doesn't run in the background.
Oh yeah.
I can tell because there is the privacy.
So that's why I use
warning.
wired CarPlay lah. Then it doesn't drain your battery.
Oh my god.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, but then you're constantly charging your battery, which is reducing the cycle.
It's also one thing I appreciated, which I thought was a flaw, right? So it doesn't actually display messages. CarPlay,
yeah, it doesn't. It just
reads
says
it out,
something
right?
comes
and
in.
it reads it out for you.
If you
then
have
you
that
reply
option.
by voice to text.
Yeah.
And initially I was like, oh man, fuck this lah. But after a while, it got useful. I was on the way here. I sent you like around the corner, right?
That was voice to text.
Yeah. It's actually fairly accurate.
But before that, you
Unless
also called me. You also called. But before that, you also called me twice.
Yeah.
Which is like literally.
So I feel like it's not.
But you are also an uncle in that way, like. You like to call people on, right?
I think it's just. I'm not even going to. So I think that it's just.
It's true. It's
become very, very useful to have. But it's not something that you might want to pay like what I just asked you, 1,000 plus for it, put in your Myvi, right?
No, and then you're not even that's $1,000 cash, but you also have to remember you have to leave your car there.
Oh yeah, the time lah.
And if people have like if it's their only car, they gotta leave it at the workshop. If the workshop is busy, you might have to leave it overnight.
Yeah. That's
just
true.
like I'm not gonna do that.
So I actually did. I know you saw it because it's viral.
Oh my god!
But I actually did this.
His whole thing was just leading up to him trying to flex that he's TikTok famous now.
I'm obviously a little bit too old
TikTok
to get popular on TikTok, but
cool people don't get excited about videos
like this. It's funny,
right?
I've tried doing TikTok videos like, I'm actually like reviewing a food place. I put a lot of information.
Because it's Carnival, dude.
Got like, it's amazing. But I only got like a few hundred views. I was like, okay lah, TikTok's
the only
not for
thing
me
good
lah.
about Carnival is the pineapple.
The lamb is very good. So anyways, then I decided like, okay, I'm just going to take a few clips of myself using CarPlay with this thing I bought off Shopee. Exploded overnight, 80,000 views in 2 days.
That thing does look good though, I have to say. When I saw it, I was like, because I saw your story. I didn't see the.
Because you don't use TikTok. If you use it, it's definitely there.
You should put it on Reels also.
No need lah, bro. I'm not chasing the views. I'm not chasing the views. I'm not chasing the views.
How many views do you get?
80,000.
Not that you're counting, right?
I think probably.
Not that you're counting. No. Oh, this one you can go and Google.
No lah, because it's numbers are a live animal.
So the thing does look good though, because he bought it from Shopee, right? And it's just like for context, it's like a small little tablet.
400.
And then there's like a suction mount, and then you just sumbat it to your windscreen. And then how does it connect to the audio system again?
So you can either go by aux cable, 3.5 millimeter. I guess cars that are in between the Bluetooth and the cassette range and the disc range eras,
Jesus
right?
Christ. Mine got CD player. Does that count?
But so you are too far back.
Too far back.
You don't have aux.
I got Bluetooth.
Bluetooth, right? Oh, mine also got CD actually.
Yeah, exactly.
My V's lah, the everyday man's
That's
car.
how they install the firmware.
Usually when there's Bluetooth, there's no aux because their logic is that also phones don't have
Yeah, correct.
But nonetheless, it can go by aux or it can go by FM transmitter.
Oh, you know what I don't like about FM transmitter?
Yeah, static lah. Hopefully, there's not much of that in
not
this.
Not static, but like if you pull up to somebody with an FM transmitter, your car starts playing the radio.
You have to play the music. But
so you leave it on like a radio station people actually listen to, right?
You just don't do 107.9 lah. That's the default FM transmitter frequency. I initially
what do you do? 89.9.
I do like
business station.
I go to the lowest frequency because I feel like not many people use it.
The lowest frequency.
The lowest that it supports, like I think it's 87.8 or something.
So if you want to
that.
hijack Nick's audio, what's the frequency?
I don't drive the car. My wife drives it most of the time, so it's cool.
Oh my god!
So interestingly, initially I was like, oh, it doesn't have I don't have aux in my car, right? And I'm not going to figure out a way to do it.
I don't even have an aux cable.
Yes, you do your monitor headphones can use, I think.
But it's 2.5 on the other end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, so it actually has a way to output audio from the CarPlay unit, the head unit, or the tablet, whatever, to your FM transmission. And it's actually really innovative that they've included it, whether you like it or not.
Which last time used to be like, the cigarette lighter.
Yeah, the separate one. So I thought I have to do that and aux it like that. I was like, oh, fuck that, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a standalone CarPlay player for like 300 plus.
I like it. I think it looks really good. I saw, because after that I went to see the Shopee link, right? And then the reviews had like a bunch of people showing the video, but then it looked really choppy on theirs. But then yours was smooth, right? Like it's no less smooth than like a car infotainment system, lah, right?
So just the context is that it feels exactly like every CarPlay system I've used.
It's not like PowerPoint slides, lah.
No. Because I guess CarPlay uses the processing power from your phone.
It has nothing to do with refresh rate of the screen, dude.
No, processing power of your phone. I'm saying I think...
Yeah, but the thing that determines whether it's choppy or not is your...
I thought you're talking whether it's laggy and freezing and
just
stuff like that.
Just like the choppiness of like scrolling.
It's okay. It's not like an iPad, but it's okay. Yeah. It's like a car lah. It's like a car. It's better than any Android player for $300 lah. Because it doesn't have any memory shortage and stuff like that because it's running off your phone. So
yeah, I think it looks good. The only thing for me is that it looks also like something that people want to steal. You know what I mean? Because it's just suction mount to your...
Okay, so you can take it off the mount. It's like a really cheap mount. You can just lift it right off.
And then just stick it in your dashboard.
Yeah. So that's the benefit.
But you're not going to do that. You're too lazy to do that.
I'm not, but my wife drives it most of the time.
You won't even pay for parking.
I don't pay for parking, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So funny story is I actually met my wife because I don't pay for parking.
Because you don't pay for parking?
So I was 22 years old, right? Almost
She's
10
the
years
police,
ago.
is it? Holy shit.
Lah, I wish,
This is going to be like an actual casting couch episode already.
So it's like I racked up like almost $1,000 in MBBJ summons. I was young or stupid.
So she was the MBPJ.
No, I put it on Facebook asking for advice, and she left a couple of comments saying
no way, this is your real. This is real.
This is a real discussion, right? Real. So I put it on Facebook saying I have like $800-900 worth of summons. I'm going to the UK to study soon.
I could have sworn I read this on Wattpad.
No, it's real. Somebody fucking plagiarized my story. So I put it up and I said what should I do? So I had some friends saying, no lah, it's okay lah, all the uncle style stuff. Don't worry, secondhand man will do it for you. Right?
Secondhand man?
Secondhand dealer will handle it for you.
Oh, okay.
Then some other people are like, better be careful, bro. And then my wife came out and said something snarky. Like, why not you just let it go to 2,000 or something? Then I remember I was like, she's pretty girl. Then I was like, what do you mean? If it's you, I just fucking ignore it, bro. But no lah, I was like, what do you mean? And then she said something again like, nothing lah. Just don't pay if you don't want to. I was like, what the fuck is this girl's problem?
So you don't know her lah at that point?
It's like acquaintances lah. Back then in college, not really. I probably said hi before, something like that, but not really lah.
Okay.
So I was a bit triggered. So I actually DM'd her on, not DM her, Facebook lah. You don't call it DM, right? Inbox her.
It's a direct message.
I guess so.
DM is direct message.
So I DM'd her on Facebook and said
what
like,
do you say? Hey bitch, what the fuck are you talking about?
I said, hey, I don't, do we...
I'm not calling you a bitch. You're a great person. I really like hanging out, even more than Nick actually.
Yeah. One day we should bring her on lah. But so I said are you?
She's just gonna roll her eyes. Roll her.
She can be the third lah. If Zach's not here lah.
Oh my god! So it's either your wife or your boyfriend lah.
So no homophobia on this show, by the way.
How is that?
So I DM'd her and said is there something that I've done to offend you? Is there a reason why you're talking to me like that? Then she's like, no, that's it. I mean, to be honest with you, you sound pretty sarcastic. So what's your problem? And then from there, we are married lah. Long story short.
What the
So that's why sometimes it pays not to pay for your
Plot
parking.
twist, she was sarcastic.
It pays not to pay for your parking, dude. She cannot resist lah. Daredevil like me, 900 ringgit MPPJ summons.
Yeah, that's what they say about bad boys, you know. I don't pay my parking. That's the tattoo that they get.
So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that CarPlay is great. CarPlay is not something that you must have for $1,000, but for $300, give it a go. Go to _NickKnock on TikTok. But you don't even need to go because it's already viral. As of last checking, it's 80,300 views on TikTok.
Oh, I thought 83,000.
No, 80,300.
80,300.
I think 81,000 but it's big lah. It's huge.
Okay. Yeah, go to __
No. _NickKnock. NICNOK. I don't even think we say our names the whole time, by the way, in this recording.
They know who we are. We're internet famous.
Maybe you lah, the people talking to you. Is that Rory Lee from somewhere?
It's Rory Lee from the internet.
It's Nicholas Kerr. No, not Nicholas Kerr. Nick Kerr.
Nick Knock.
Nick Knock. No lah, I don't want to be known as Nick
don't
Knock.
want to be Nick Knock?
Nick Kerr lah. Nick Knock is just my Discord handle, Instagram and stuff. Okay, I want to talk about something
No,
else.
your Instagram, your Discord handle is Sophie the Fighting Cat.
So the final thing I want to argue with you
Wait,
about
is it?
forecast.
It's not.
No more.
It's
I changed it
not.
to Nick Knock already.
Okay,
Sophie
okay.
is my cat's name lah. I love cats. But let's not talk about that.
Where's your shirt?
So another.
I'll never forget that one.
So basically, the context
There's a
of
shirt
this
of
this
his
whole
cat.
podcast, right, is just we just argue a lot. So we wanted to at least try
Enough.
to.
Like, nobody is watching at this point already. You don't
Yeah,
need to
that's
explain
true.
explain the concept of the show
So
already.
something that we always argue about, right, is the genre of cars, right, the form factor of cars, which is like compact SUVs. I go sneeze. How come nobody sneezes in the podcast I listen to? So I actually switched about like maybe I don't know what 7-8 months ago to like as if we've already talked about like a compact SUV. Rory hates compact SUVs. He thinks that you might as well buy a hatchback.
It's true. Especially So SUVs still reasonable, you know. But compact SUVs make zero sense because it's like realistically, how much more is a HRV gonna ferry than my Myvi?
But a
One extra
HRV is
throw-pillow?
never marketed as a people
One
carrier.
medium-sized corgi.
No lah, but
That's it.
It's about what you're buying the car for. Like people who buy the
You're
HRV.
buying the car because you think it looks cool.
Of course.
You want to bully people on the road.
I don't drive a HRV,
and you want to
but-
destroy the planet a little bit more because your car is more resource intensive than a smaller, more compact car.
No lah. The thing with the
It's
HRV
facts.
or
FACS.
I think I guess another compact SUVs are what Peugeot 2008, right?
Who buys Peugeot, dude?
Some guys do
They're
for
just
some
stuck
reason.
at the side of the road,
Yeah.
like fucking broken down already. Like, come
No
on,
one can
French
sell. That's why
car.
they still drive it for ages.
Yeah, exactly. They cannot sell.
Corolla Cross, I guess XV as well.
An XV, yeah.
Subaru XV.
Okay, but I
Subaru
would
XV is
say
a Boxster and it's a really nice car to drive. And
I would
stuff, right?
say like the XV is, especially the new one, is slightly bigger than what it was, right? Because it used to be a smaller car.
It's still
isn't
quite
it?
small. It's still quite small.
it's still quite small
just
on
that
the
it
inside.
looks bigger. It's like
See,
chunkier.
that's my main problem
Body kit.
that's my main problem with it, right? It takes up more space, which means it's harder for the people who don't know how to park. And then it takes up more space on the road. It takes up more resources because it's heavier, it's bigger, and yet it's not like significantly more practical.
So I give you
Which I
this
think is
scenario,
ridiculous lah.
which is like somebody like me. I'm married, no kids. I do fetch like my parents, my in-laws, friends and stuff here and there. So I wanted a car that's not too small. I like the form factor of an SUV, but I didn't want, and I don't have money, but I also didn't want like a big SUV because then that is also like, to your point, resource
It's
wastage
not necessary
lah.
for you
like
already,
2.5
ma.
liter CS5,
Yeah.
right? Like that's like over the top of Hilux of Hilux. No, definitely not,
I
right?
think you can make like a bed
So,
at
but
the
I
back.
still want. First of all, I like what you said. I think it looks cool. I like the visual element of an
I'm
SUV.
gonna put Nick's car. The person editing is gonna put Nick's car up here.
He's gonna be doing it. This is a very small
He's
operation,
gonna put it
but
like here.
so
That's the car he think looks cool.
no SUVs.
Oh, SUVs in general.
I like the SUV
Okay,
form
take
factor.
down Nick's car.
So I like an SUV form factor. I don't want something that's too big, too resource heavy. Like my car's a 1.8 liter car. It's not huge lah. It's
Yeah.
not like super gas guzzling. Plus it's CVT, you know, it saves fuel. But at the same time, I like the form factor visually, but I appreciate the utility. I know you disagree, but if you fold down the seats, you get a higher boot than you would get in a sedan, and a longer boot than you would get in a hatchback.
I would say that your car is still okay.
Okay lah, then let's change the topic.
because I knew that's what you were saying. But I would say that the Corolla Cross is still is more acceptable because it is a bigger car. Like you can carry more things. Maybe you can't sit as many people.
Yeah.
That one is
undebatable.
Okay, that one is confirmed lah. I would say you can't sit as many people. But you do get a functionally larger boot.
Yeah, you compare it to the HRV, right?
Yeah, or compare it to like hatchback lah, which was the main comparison now that we're doing, right?
Okay.
You do get a significantly larger boot, especially depth-wise, right?
Yeah,
like I would say that's okay, but people who buy like HRV, for example,
HRV is really small right now.
Or like CX3, I love the CX3 though, but it's again purely yeng. But the CX3 also is a bit more on the acceptable side because it's actually tiny. It's so tiny.
It's just a hatchback with body kit.
It's a Mazda 2 that's like went to the gym a bit, you know?
And much more expensive.
But it looks so good. Dude, every Mazda looks so good. Have you seen the Mazda 3? Mazda 3
is really nice car. Really nice car.
Best looking car.
Damn expensive. 165k. For
Doesn't matter.
The spec that you probably want to get.
Worth every penny.
Anyways,
but yeah, so don't buy a compact crossover.
Don't buy a compact crossover unless it's a Corolla Cross. I agree on the HRV. Like, I actually like the HRV very much.
It looks nicer than
really
your car.
nice powertrain. Yeah, it looks nicer than my car. I mean, it's much sportier. The back looks like very futuristic, but
looks less uncle basically.
In that way, I mean, I'm 31 years old. Right, I'm married. I am an uncle. I have no problem with that. It's about owning my maturity. You're 30 years old, lah. Come on, lah, bro. Time to accept. You're 30, right?
Huh?
30, right?
I'm younger than you, lah. Basically,
basically.
Important. Yeah, I'm 30.
But the thing is, when I look at the HRV, because when I bought the car, the new HRV wasn't out yet. But honestly, when I look at the new HRV, I already knew it would be much more powerful because everybody knew it was going to come with the Civic turbo engine, basically. And I knew that Honda cars generally look nicer in terms of that sporty element. Generally.
Depends on the gen, but yeah, okay.
Just across the board, lah, right? So, but at the same time, when I looked at the new HRV, I was like, oh, good. Because I made the right choice with the Cross. Because if I got the HRV, I would honestly feel like, wow, I feel like I should have just gotten a City. Because it's so small.
City hatchback, dude. That's where the money's at.
Maybe City hatchback, so but you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I don't know about the previous HRV, right, which everybody and their mother has,
I hate it.
But I liked it actually. But it's
my uncle drives one, so don't tell him that.
It's okay, I don't think this is on his algorithm.
But since we're on this topic, there was one thing that he told me about, like, you know, compact crossover. I can't remember if it's him, but somebody who was driving a compact crossover SUV. Even the name is so annoying. Is that it is easier for people to get in and out of, like especially like grandpa, people with, like, you know, not so good knees.
Really? Yeah.
It's easier to get in
mine
and out.
Mine is harder. Because mine's a bit bigger, I guess.
Or yours is even taller.
Like my wife's grandmother has trouble getting in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then yours too big already, because he was saying like because before that he was driving like a Vios, which I guess sedan is even worse, right? So it's like low.
Oh, maybe that's too low.
So it's a bit harder, to get in.
HRV, just because I find it's too close to like a hatch or a sedan in its size.
If I had to choose between the HRV or your car, though,
you will pick a HRV because your use case is more suited to a HRV. But for me, like in terms of like something family,
is the HRV also CVT?
Yeah, every car is CVT now, bro. Every mass market car is almost every mass market car is CVT. So look at X70, huge.
The one X70 is huge. Like, legit is too big. X50, what gearbox?
Also a dual clutch. Also a dual clutch.
I do like the X50 though. I think it's
That's
nice
a
looking.
very compact SUV though.
But it's nice looking.
It is nice looking.
It falls in that
until something you need to change lah.
Yeah. And then the DRLs, like every time they're on the signal light, right? It's like, this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they look cool. I considered it as well. Very good price point, definitely. Yeah. Maybe your next car lah, but you want to buy a bike, right?
I think if I got money, I'll buy another bike.
So I guess let's stop talking about cars lah. I think one more thing I guess talking about is like,
I like how we started this discussion. We're like going into this is like, Rory, you will be the host. And
because you are just too into this car topic already.
No.
I know he wanted to do like
my segues were so good. Like I had them all set up already, and then you just bulldozed with it. Like, come on, man.
So what you talk about? Don't
want to talk already lah. Just end the show.
We're already at 15 minutes already.
I don't want to talk to you.